I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some problems that we associate with fruit trees. And the first one is this yellowing of the leaf, and we have some green veins between the sections of the leaf, so we have yellowing between the green veins. That's what we call chlorosis. It's caused by a micronutrient deficiency, usually iron, but it can be manganese or possibly zinc. But we'll kind of shoot with the iron first because our soil conditions here are alkaline, and a lot of our stone fruits do have a lot of problems with iron deficiencies. So this is a plum, and you can just see the overall yellowing on it. We'll use a foliar spray of iron to try and green this up. It'll just be a temporary fix because what's really happening is the root system is not being able to pick up enough of the micronutrient in the soil to satisfy what the tree needs. And so, application of a micronutrient soil treatment might help, but we're going to use the foliar spray as a booster to kind of bring that level up, so at least we have some good green growth, because if this tree stays real yellowed, it's lacking one of the major nutrients or one of the major essential elements, and it's going to create problems with the future health of this tree. So we do need to correct the problem. Our soil is very alkaline, so it's going to require conditions, where you keep adding it year after year. So the other things that can be wrong with this tree is possibly something has damaged the trunk on it that's affecting the nutrient uptake on it. So you want to rule that out. Another problem we want to look at is an old pruning wound. We always try and get people to make correct pruning cuts, and this one has an old pruning cut that was not cut correctly. It has died back and kind of rotted back into the trunk of the tree. This can be an area where you might have future decay of the main center area of the tree, the trunk, and the kind of crown area here. Diseases, borers get in there, and you may have some limb breakage if you have some heavy crops. So we want to be careful on that. So those are a couple quick problems there. So let's go take a look at some more. We have a small fruit tree here, and a lot of people can probably relate to this when they've bought a fruit tree at the nursery. One of the big things we want to point out is always keep the bud union, and this is the point of where we have a kind of a swollen knob on the base of the tree, and this is where the tree has been grafted from the known variety to the rootstock. So that's a very important part on a fruit tree, and those are usually budded somewhere 4 to 6, maybe 8 inches above ground, and that's where that bud needs to stay. So we never want that bud to go below ground. A lot of times people, when they're planting a fruit tree in their yard, will try and put the bud underground to hide that because they think it's going to show up for the life of the tree, and it doesn't. The tree outgrows it, and you don't see that anymore. So you want to keep that bud above ground, because if you don't, you're going to end up with problems later on in the tree's life. Another thing we see a lot is you can see how we have so many branches here coming out at one point. There's not very much space between the branches, and they're very narrow angled. And this is bad on fruit trees because these limbs, if you can imagine them, 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to be 4 or 5 times the diameter that they are now. And they're going to be very crowded and pinched in among each other. Plus, they're very narrow branched, so if they have much weight on them, a lot of times these will snap off. So we need to pick our fruit tree varieties or pick our fruit trees at the nursery where we have a lot better selection of the actual branches that are left on it, so we can get some good scaffold branches started and avoid this narrow branch angles and the clustering of the branches. So again, pick and select a good tree, make sure the bud union is above ground, and then just take good care of the tree as far as watering and fertilizing, and you should have a good healthy fruit tree for a number of years and grow much like the ones we see in the background here in this orchard. So again, those are some tips for our fruit growers.